Okay. Howdy, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Debauchery Circus campaign here on the Random Rhapsody Network. I'm Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and GM, and joining me around my virtual table today are Brie, Steven Jr., and Brandie. Say hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Howdy.
Now, next Monday, February 20th, we are going to be doing a special one-shot to celebrate Kyle Tommas from the Fab Five's birthday, instead of our regular campaigns. Brandie, Dawson, and I will be joined by Coins and Joe from the Fab Five, as well as our friend DM Quicksilver from the same name Twitch stream, as we face off against Pinky's Revenge. Also, starting at the end of the month, I will be joining our friends on the Transverse for their return of All on the Table. There are a lot of new games as part of the program, and I'll be playing in their Light of Cinders campaign as Yehoshu, which starts on February 25th. And I'm also playing on the Secrets of the Smaller Gods campaign, and where I'm playing Tybal, which is going to begin on March 11th. Both games are at 3 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific at twitch.tv/thetransverse. Now you can keep up to date on all of our scheduling and everything we're doing by following us on Facebook as Random Rhapsody TV and on Twitter as @random_Rhapsody. Okay, that should do it for the announcements. So join us as we dive into the world of Loroupa and continue on with the adventures of the Debauchery Circus. And we're back. So when we last left off, the Debauchery Circus were in the city of Ranivika, where they were trying to determine just how deeply the cult of the Dreamer had embedded itself within the Church of the Five Gods. To accomplish this feat, Blaznir and Lapis had disguised themselves as nuns and infiltrated the Convent of Jorin, while Ichabod and Corrin focused their attentions on the temple itself. After a brief meeting with the wizard who had allowed them to utilize their teleportation circle, or his teleportation circle, Corin and Ichabod returned to the temple so they could receive a tour of the convent from the Reverend Mother Dominica. By the time the pair arrived, they could already tell that something was strange about the facility by the way the priests acted upon their arrival and their handing off to those nuns. The tour itself turned out to be a very lackluster affair. The Reverend Mother escorted them around the grounds, giving a rather boring tour and speaking vaguely about the High Priestess Abir and her attentions here at the convent. But the pair could also tell that the Reverend Mother had no intention of letting either of them out of her sight at any point in that tour. They did manage to make contact with their friends, away from the watching eyes of the nun. And Blaznir, Lapis, and Tommas was able to convey to them that the nuns had a special initiation ritual for them to undergo the following evening. The group instead decided that it was time to find a way to enter the undercroft of the convent, to see what exactly it was that made the tree in the courtyard so uncomfortable, as told to from Blaznir. And so, Debauchery Circus. Ichabod and Corrin's tour ended exactly the way it began, with them being handed off to a monk whose name was Jefferson, who escorted you both back to the temple, all the while telling you how lucky you are to be given the opportunity to meet with the Reverend Mother, who is a very, very busy woman. The daily life at the temple proceeds as it has done since you both arrived. Mass at sundown, followed by a meal provided by the monks, and then study and contemplation until you choose to go to bed. For Blaznir, Lapis, and Tommas, their evenings are spent similarly, except for one main difference that I'll be getting into later. But before we get on into all that, a question comes to each of your minds. And that question is, what is your opinion on nobility and on authority? And since Ichabod, you're the one who rolled, why don't you go ahead and go first?
Well, Ichabod definitely thinks authority is what makes the world go round. You've got to have kind of tiers of management, otherwise it's just chaos. But nobility in particular, not everybody is like do their authority, you know. Sometimes they just have it because they have a lot of money. So I feel like he more so respects somebody's character and whether they're able to portray authority rather than like societal authority.
Okay, I like it. Lapis, how about you?
There you are.
Oh, there I am. Sorry. I was saying, Lapis, how about you?
Brandie?
Can't hear you, Lapis.
Seriously, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Now we can.
Okay. I feel like Lapis has little use for nobility. He doesn't stick in one place long enough to really care about the nobility in those areas. As far as authority, I mean, she'll listen to those who seem to be in charge, but I mean, she's more of a free spirit. She's not gonna, stick around and, sorry, my mind's going blank on what else I wanted to say about it. But like I said, basically she'll listen to those in charge in the area she's in, but it's not gonna hold any fealty to them, I guess.
Okay, fair enough. I like it. Blaznir, how about you?
I think he finds them quite boring. Most of the time they take themselves way too seriously, and either that or they think that being born to people who are rich by luck, it makes them what's the word, more important than those who are actually working for their food and working for the noble's food as well. So he finds them quite boring and annoying.
Yeah, I can see that. Definitely. Okay. Corin, how about you?
Actions and experience dictate leadership, so it doesn't necessarily determine, like, one's status doesn't determine how morally correct their right to rule is. Corin would rather listen to a peasant who actually knows what they're talking about than a king who doesn't, but just being or not being nobility doesn't necessarily give anyone, the vote of confidence or the vote of ill. It's more just about what do you know about the situation that you're dealing with? What do you choose to do in those situations? That kind of thing.
Okay, I like it. Well, Circus, as I said, it was one major difference for those of you who are at the Convent. The moment Ichabod and Corrin left, the nuns all immediately started gossiping about the two men who had been shown around by the Reverend Mother. Blaznir, with your ridiculous passive perception, you would have been able to notice that, well, first of all, the Reverend Mother was pretty much absent from the moment that she dropped off Ichabod and Corrin at the front gate. She was not at the evening meal, and neither were two of the senior-most nuns in the convent, Sister Mary Clarence and Sister Mary Robert. For evening mass, Sister Mary Margaret was the one who led the service, and those three were absent from that as well. Each of you are spoken to by one of the nuns about your baptism that you would be undergoing the following evening. And you're given some vague instructions about, bathing before the event after evening meal, that you'll be given a white shift and a shawl to wear, and you'll come before them dressed as that, and then be escorted into the baptismal chamber, which is a chamber that none of you three have actually seen in your entire time here. And you've been through pretty much most of the downstairs, the main floor, and the upper floor, though you still have not been in Ivic Abrier's private office yet.
Could I ask where the baptismal chamber is? Whatever. I can't say that one.
Baptismal.
Yeah, no, that one's not coming out of my mouth.
It's not gonna happen.
not happening.
If you ask, you're pretty much just told that you'll be able to see it firsthand tomorrow evening.
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
You said they were gossiping. Which one of us did they think was hotter?
Yeah, give me the breakdown. Percentage-wise.
Yeah, 28 passive
Because
perception.
like I said, we have something for everybody. So you got like your big hyper masculine dude, and then you have your skinny twink. So we got something for everybody.
Yeah, with that stupid passive perception of Blaznir's, it's not that they're gossiping like, "Ooh, there's some two hot guys that came through." It was more of,
why not?
Why are two soldiers being escorted through the grounds? Why are these people from Gulfrin showing up now of all times and wanting a tour of the facilities? It's more suspicious gossip, not so much. Oh, look at those two hot dudes. They're nuns.
Why not?
They're nuns.
Hey,
nuns are women too.
Doesn't mean that nuns can't feel attraction.
That doesn't mean the two of you would be attractive to every single nun either.
Have you seen
Yeah, but
me?
there'll be one, right?
I have indeed, but you wouldn't even be aware of this fact because the two of you went back to the temple escorted by Jefferson. And you're allowed to do pretty much what you've been doing all evening.
Mm-hmm. We're talking about how many of the nuns probably found us attractive.
Yeah, probably.
Brother Jefferson hoping to move on up in the congregation? Maybe get a better room on the east side?
Like, are you asking him if he's content?
No, it's a joke. Never mind.
You gotta stop cracking jokes.
I mean...
Jokes are out of here.
Well, anyway, after your rather eventful day, Blaznir, Lapis, and Tommas as well, the three you're all allowed to retire to your rooms to study and meditate on your new lives as nuns. About the same time that Ichabod and Corrin, the two of you, are finish dinner and head back to your own rooms. So you've got some time before late evening approaches. But Debauchery Circus, as the evening gloom fully sets over the town of Ranny Vika, what are you wanting to do?
I think I'd like to... So there's a library. I'd like to go to the library to see if there are any old schematics, maybe like a map of the convent, even if it's an old iteration of it. Well, because I don't think we know where the door is to the basement, right?
So you were
Our guess is that
actually
it's under
provided.
The statue.
Yeah, you were provided the basic blueprints that Tommas was able to find
true.
at when you first arrived in Ranny Vika. So the basic layout of both buildings, but there isn't anything on the blueprints that you had that Tommas had showing an undercroft. He knew that there was one.
Okay.
He had seen what's the word I'm looking for?
signs of construction or whatever.
Yeah, no, it wasn't science of construction. It was papers detailing construction that was done,
Oh, yeah.
and he had compared the cost and the labor and what they were doing based on the blueprints, and knew that they had done something else down there, but he wasn't quite sure what. That was part of the reason he was infiltrating.
All right, so
Okay.
Corin can tell me that we kind of suspect the statue might be an entrance to the undercroft. So in that case, I would like to spend my time studying these plans just to make sure that I know the most direct route, or I know any side routes if we need to kind of dip out, because I'm not very stealthy, so I'm trying to like be as prepared as possible to try to make up for my poor stealth.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we are going to be invisible, but still, that's not foolproof.
Yeah, I'd like to try to stay away from people, so if I need to know, like, ooh, if I turn this way, I can still get there by going around, because I remember the blueprints.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've seen the map that you're on here of kind of how it's laid out and that sort of thing. There is a pathway that leads to an enclosed basic bridge that goes from the temple to the convent, and then there's the main door there. There's also a secondary front door to the convent that you had exited out of when you went on your tour of the gardens outside. So those are the two main entrances, as well as there's an entrance to the back in the kitchens area.
Ooh, back entrance.
Yeah, those are the three entrances that's listed on the blueprints that you had. And you've seen all three of those entrances on your tour. One's in the kitchens, one's the ones that you walked through when you came in, and then the one is the one that you exited into the garden. Now, Tommas
go ahead.
Tommas had told you that at the time that you had said you wanted to get in through the front door, and he told you that he would try to unlock it for you.
Okay, so by front door, you mean the one like we go outside and go in the front door?
The one that you had came in from. That's the one. That's what I had intended at the time. However, if you want him to do something different, like you have time. You could cast ascendings back and forth and make a bit of plans.
No, I mean the front door would get us closest to the statue without having to mess around, right?
Yeah, that's one of the two doors into the chapel.
Then let's just stick with that, I think.
All right, we're sticking with the plan. Well, then, if there's anything else I can do to try to prepare myself, I sharpen my weapons.
Okay. As for Blaznir and Lapis, the two of you also have time, because the two of you and Tommas are in your cell, which is just a room, 3 beds, simple dresser, not too elaborate and very cramped. You also have one single window in your room that looks out onto the eastern side of the grounds. So you have time to prepare and discuss what you want to do, how you want to get them in, etc., etc. Is there anything you're wanting to do to prepare for this evening?
Yeah, I was going to ask Tommas, do we actually have a plan in place, or is it just get in and see what happens? I can't remember anything, so...
It's a reconnaissance mission.
Reconnaissance, I see.
But if we start fighting...
So get in and see what happens.
Yes, pretty much.
Cool. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's how we always do it.
Well, that is pretty much how you all seem to do things. That's how another
Flying
group I
by
work
the
with.
seat of our pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have the spells prepared for this, but let's do this. I never have correct spells prepared anyway. It's fine.
Well, you've known for a little while now what you're doing. You've been here for 3 days. So you haven't used any spells at all today. You've just been going about your business.
If you speak with plants, and that's about it.
So other than speak with plants, if you want to change some of your spells, you do have time, because you have been preparing for this for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
I need... I'm gonna look at the spell list rather than what I have on here. Actually, I didn't realize I prepared Order of Vitality. That's actually
nice.
I thought I was going to be dumb, but apparently I wasn't. Awesome.
It's a shock to us all.
It truly is.
It really is.
Ooh, I could probably use fine traps. If I want. I don't know.
Well, as
Oh, that's right.
as you're all sitting there and preparing, you have plenty of time. You have several hours to discuss what you want to do. I assume you're going to be going like late in the evening, correct?
Yes, try to go when people are asleep.
Yeah. So I'm going to move the map to dark time, which is what I did. I've had everybody is where they're supposed to be until you guys all start sneaking out, and you have time to discuss what you're going to do for preparation. Tommas asks, are either of you able to see in the dark?
I am quite well.
Was that a yes or a no?
I mean, I said I'm able to see in the dark.
Okay.
So it's a yes.
Yes.
And I have goggles of night, so I can see in the dark.
Excellent. Good to know. And so he touches himself, and he's casting dark vision on himself.
Meanwhile, me and Corin are sitting there, and I go, "Oh shit, Corin! I forgot I can't see in the dark."
Yeah, I know.
Well, you're a wizard, don't you got some, hoodoo you can do?
Who's the best boyfriend?
Well, you're my one and only.
Casting dark vision.
Yay! Thank you. I knew you would have just the right spell. So does that give me 60 feet of dark vision?
Yes, for 8 hours.
Okay. Sweet.
And there you go.
We did it.
Actually, most of my spells are quite fine for this.
You just assumed that they were going to be bad.
I was making an assumption, and apparently it was wrong. I got Pass Without Trace. That's awesome.
Like I said, you've been planning on this stuff for a few days now.
So. Summon Elemental. I even prepared Protection from Good and Evil, which
just
oh damn, I got that one too.
Try not to burn the church down.
That one bewilders me right there. Okay.
I'm gonna just keep that prepared because we'll probably need it more than once.
Yeah.
If things go bad, which they will. They always will.
They always do.
Maybe I can just prepare freedom of movement instead of purify food and drink.
Yeah, we're just not going to eat anything.
Tommas does tell you that he also has Pass Without a Trace, but
nice.
his spells are more limited. So he also
what
said...
spells do Tommas have? Have?
His third level spells, you've had time to discuss this, so he probably would tell you since you're all in an infiltration mission. He can cast Sending. He can cast it one time a day without expending a spell slot because of the tattoo he has. And he can also cast the spell regularly, as well as Dispel Magic and Lightning Bolt. Those are his highest level spells. He can do Darkness and Dark Vision and Pass Without a Trace. Silence, Spiritual Weapon, and Invisibility as his mid-level spells. And his low-level spells are Cure Wounds, Expeditious Retreat, and Catapult.
Nice.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. He also says that he'll cast Invisibility, and he can cast it on 2 people. But that's going to be one of his higher level spells. So if you want to do that to sneak around, that's the best time to do it. You have any other planning you want to talk about?
No, pretty much just gonna...
Tommas will also point out Now, we do know that they have patrols regularly through the courtyard and up to the top balcony and back down again. So we're going to have to time this pretty intelligently. My suggestion is we scope out the area, see what the schedule is of the nun moving around. When that's done, we'll head over to the to the main chapel and wait for Ichabod and Corrin to arrive. Hopefully they don't take too long because invisibility only lasts an hour.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I could go whenever you're ready to watch, the people walking around for 4 hours. If you for a maximum of 4 hours. If you don't want to, because it sounds like you're saying invisibility to watch the people to get a gist of their movements. But
no, I was more saying we go invisible when we're heading to the chapel.
Okay.
Yeah, you should study their movements and then send us a message, like when we are a go to cross the courtyard.
Yeah, so I could transform myself into whatever and watch them for a bit, just so we can, get a sense of, yeah. You've got it.
Okay. Well, if you want to do that, yeah, that's perfectly fine to me. You'll have to use your time while we're waiting, but come back after you get a good idea of their movements and let us know. I'll send the message over to Ichabod and Corrin, and then we'll get this going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, so what are you transforming into?
That's a good question. Something small. Have I seen any birds around?
A bat.
Ooh.
They got bats in their belfry.
Well, there you have seen a few birds. You typical robin, bluebird, that sort of thing.
All right. Have I seen any ravens or crows?
Roll a D100.
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 15.
It's a good number.
15.
It's either really good or really bad.
I was looking for a low number, so yes, you've seen a raven.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll go and whenever I guess go outside and transform into a raven and just watch from the roofs.
Yeah. If you transform into a raven, Lapis or Tommas could easily open the door in the window in your room to fly out, and you can just fly up over the convent. Now, the convent, is the big building with a big old courtyard right in the middle with a tree in it. So you can just fly over and land on the roof and look down and watch their movements. Which you do. Now, it is very dark, and ravens don't have dark vision, but
do I not get my dark vision?
Why do you have dark vision?
Devil's Sight from Eldritch Adapt feat.
Actually, yeah, because you have the Devil's Sight, you actually would be able to use that in your raven form since you're wild shaping. So you would be able to see in the dark. However, what I was getting ready to also say is that you do see the nuns. Some of them are going about their business. You're probably headed out there about, let's say, 9 o'clock at night to start watching. And you see the nuns going about their business, heading to their rooms. At one point, you do see Mother Dominica. She comes out from her room on the second floor, accompanied by Mary Margaret. She goes down to the chapel, and you watch. You're able to see her go across the balcony, down the stairs, across the courtyard, and in underneath the balcony, and you assume that's probably where she is. And a few minutes later, you do see her moving about in the glass. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Perception. And I'm not polymorph, so. 22?
With your 22 through the glass of the chapel, you have to actually move to be able to see this, but I would assume you would want to see this. So you probably fly over to the tree and land on one of the branches to get a better view. Looking through the glass, you can see Mother Dominica and speaking with Mary Margaret. You also don't you have the observant feat?
Sure do.
Okay, which allows you to read lips, if I'm not mistaken.
It does.
So you are able to see Mother Dominica turn and say to Sister Mary Margaret, head down and begin preparing for the ritual. Let Trihala know to be prepared.
Trihala.
You then
Trihala, like Valhalla
Trihala.
trees.
Brihala.
I mean, that's not what I was going for, but sure, why not?
I like it.
That's where trees go when they die.
Tree heaven.
Yeah, tree heaven, that's what it is. She said, let Trihala, Trehala was the spelling,
Okay.
know to be prepared. The nun then kneels down, and you see her taking something from around her neck, and then she kind of bends down at the back of the altar. You see the altar move forward. She begins walking down. It then moves back, and you see Mother Dominica turn and begin heading back up through the chapel, out the courtyard, and back up to her room, where you see her disappear. About an hour later, you begin watching as the rest of the nuns all seem to be settling into their various rooms. You see Mary Robert and Mary Clarence come back from the chapel as well and head to their rooms. You don't see Mother Dominica emerge from her office at any point. You do see two nuns. Well, we're going to say Mary Patrick and Mary...
oh no, we're never going to remember.
Yeah. We're going to say Mary Patrick and Mary... Mary Lisa. Yeah, Mary Lisa. Why not? Two of the nuns that you've had some small interaction with confer down by the tree for a moment, light their lanterns, put their lanterns on their belt, and then begin walking. One heads upstairs, the other walks downstairs. And you kind of watch, because the last time you were out, there was only one nun making patrol. But today there's two. One upstairs, going up along the balcony, checking doors. Then she walks back to the other side, does the same, and on that's the western side of the balcony. It's mostly storage and some libraries and that sort of thing. But you see her step into each room, kind of look around for a few minutes, and then step out again along this path. And then she goes downstairs about the same time that the nun at the downstairs heads upstairs. And then they repeat this process, going back and forth. Basically, every about 30 minutes or so, they switch sides. Give me an insight check.
Insight.
Oh no, butter, don't let us down.
Oof. 11.
Oof.
Oof.
Oof, duh.
Big oof.
So, as best as you can tell, when the two nuns one starts going up the stairs, one starts going down the stairs, you think there might be a moment where they're both on at a level where they would not be able to see the door to your rooms. It's tricky, and you can't quite get the timing down, but you think maybe you'd be able to get out into the chapel during that moment.
Does it, by chance, look like they need that light to be able to see very, very well? Or, like, because you said they have lanterns on their head, but I don't know if I could tell if they actually need the light or they just have it for whatever reason.
Probably safer to assume they would need it.
Yeah, with that 11 of yours that you rolled, it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, you see them with a lantern on their belt walking around, so
Yeah.
odds are probably.
Okay. Is it quite dark in the area with where they are not?
I mean, for the most part, yeah. Other than like most of the bedrooms have gone dark by this time, so there aren't like candlelight coming out from windows or underneath door areas. The moon is it's kind of in a gibbous sort of state right now, but it is kind of overcast, so there's not a lot of natural light in the area as well. So it is relatively dark.
Okay.
Yes, the gibbon moon.
I have plots and schemes, but they'll probably lead to our deaths. So,
I mean, that's always half the fun.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Well, you know that your time is getting pretty close, so you take to the skies once again. Make a stealth check for me while you're doing so.
Stealth check. Oh, that's Raven Dexterity. What is Raven Dexterity?
He goes as he's sleeping.
Do I have ravens? No, I don't. Okay. Let me get book. Ravens have a dexterity of +2. 13.
Okay, and now I want you to roll me a d10.
A d10. A 3.
Okay.
Basically a Rubik's Cube.
Oh no.
The sheets were only 2 meals.
What the hell?
Just going. I accidentally opening video.
Good job.
My volume's at max.
Well, anyway, so as you're flying, you can see that one of the nuns on the balcony, she's the one with the really short spiky hair that she has pushed up underneath her veil. She happens to be checking a door right about the time you go flying over, and she seems to hear something, and she looks around, but doesn't seem to notice you as you go flying over the roof and back around towards your window. You got really lucky there. But you fly in through the window. Tommas is able to close it for you, and you transform and give them the lowdown about everything.
Yep.
A few minutes later, Tommas expends his once-a-day sending and sends it to Corin to say, "Be at the front door in about an hour and a half. We're going to make our way to there. We'll be invisible. Be careful."
Will do. We will also be invisible. Do you need a signal of some kind?
Well, I don't think he has another sending to send to us.
Well, he's not.
Oh,
He's
that's
not
true.
expending another spell slot, so
That's true.
he just and to Blaznir and Lapis, he's like, "You don't reply to a fucking sending spell with question. What kind of idiot does that?"
I don't think Tommas likes us very much.
Blame it on someone else.
Do you need me to send an animal messenger to them? if they ask a question. I could send my little red panda friend, but if need be, only if necessary.
You know what? Not a bad idea. He wanted to know what signal they should be looking for when we get there.
It will tap me out of wild shape, but if it's signals seem pretty necessary, so.
I mean,
Just make a caw sound. Always go with the classic bird noise.
yeah. You know what? Tell him to. Well, why not? Let's do it. He writes down on a piece of paper, make a hoot like an owl, and I'll reply with a raven from the other side of the door.
I'll summon Kyan in his familiar form so it doesn't burn the paper up.
Good call. Good call. You give it to Kyan in his raven form. He goes flying over the convent, out the window over the convent to the temple where the two of you are staying, and in your upstairs room, and you hear that tap 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 on the window a few minutes later.
Okay, I'll open the window.
It flies to Ichabod and just plops on him.
Nice. I give him some scritches. And then after like 5 solid minutes, I go, "Oh, he's got a note." All right.
Attracted by the floofy boy.
Yeah, he's really cute. It says we should hoot like an owl, and he's gonna make a raven sound, which I'm guessing is a caw.
Something like that.
It
Yes.
sounds completely inconspicuous, and I'm sure it's gonna go great. So, let me just practice my owl hooting for the next hour.
I mean, all of our plans have always gone amazing.
Yeah,
all
well,
the time.
just Corin, just promise me this time you're not going to needlessly sacrifice yourself.
I will
Alright.
do my very best.
Don't be a hero. No, I want you to make an actual, real promise. All right, I hold out my hand, and I'm like, "This is just about getting the job done."
Mm-hmm. Getting
Alright.
the job done and getting the heck out of here.
Yeah, but if I'm in danger or something, don't kill yourself to save me. Promise?
I promise I will not kill myself to save you.
We shake hands on it.
Corin fully believing in his mind, though he doesn't say it out loud, that, yeah, I'm not gonna kill myself. Somebody else might kill me in the course of trying to save you, but that's not my fault.
You know the heart of the promise. You know what it means.
And we all know he's going to ignore it. So
Yeah.
anyway, you wait a little bit of time. After about 30 minutes or so, Tommas motions to you, Blaznir and Lapis. Okay, it's time to get moving. I'm going to be casting invisibility on myself and on Lapis. Blaznir. You're
Yes. What?
You covered?
Oh boy, that was my wild. That was two of my wild shapes. I guess
Oh
I can.
shit! You use your wild shape to send a message, so you can't.
Yeah,
transfer
I'm
it through.
still giving scritches. He's just with us now.
Yeah, you know your red panda familiar? He's mine now. I love him.
No, we should have it be that he is with us for the time being until we get over there.
Yeah.
We're all going over there together. So it's about safety in numbers.
I suppose, but I could just snap him out of existence and snap
No!
him right here. He's my friend. Although it's probably safer with you over there. I need a stealth. I
Just
guess
do
I could.
pass Chris.
Yeah, I could do Path Without Trace or Polymorph. But
Might want to do polymorph, because pass without a trace, you're still visibly seen.
yeah. Or I could use that hat of disguise and be another nun, and be like, "What? I was stationed to be out here. Why are you here?"
Or the ever classic, I'm just headed to the crapper.
Thank you, Brain Corin. I could also
You
say
should
that I'm
be-
heading.
You should be Mary Margaret, the nun.
Yeah, I could, or I could transform into one of the head priests.
We're never gonna get anywhere.
Never gonna get anywhere. I would recommend not being one of the nuns. I'd rather not be seen, period, if at all possible. That's just me. He says as he reaches out and touches Lapis, and poof, both of you are invisible from his spell.
You are a very boring person, Tommas. I'm sorry. And I'll take a cocoon and transform myself into a cockroach.
Ooh,
Gross.
Why not?
nice.
Lapis.
First thing that popped into mind.
Lapis, grab your buddy. Let's get going.
So we're just gonna have a floating cockroach with us?
Yep.
Or anything worn or
Why?
carried. So if you're carrying him,
Okay.
Mine object
put
is
him
a cockroach.
inside your bag, and your bag's invisible.
I kind of shudder a little bit because, ew, cockroach. But I put him in my pocket.
He's like sticking his little head out.
Yeah, there's actually some debate on whether or not if you're invisible, if you're holding another PC, if they would be invisible too. I personally subscribe to if your clothes are invisible and you put it in your pocket, it's going to be invisible too. But I've actually seen people argue whether or not that should be the case.
I don't feel like you should be able to carry another whole person, but if that person becomes very tiny and can fit in your pocket, then
Exactly. Exactly.
But a whole person, that's you're kind of stretching it.
A whole person stretching it, absolutely. But someone polymorphed or wild
because it's also the question of if I was invisible and I picked up a table, would the table then become invisible?
No, the table would not. Absolutely, because
that's
it's
what
way
I'm saying.
too big. But
that's what I'm saying. That's
tiny,
where a person is. Yeah.
Well, now that's what I was saying. I didn't mean another person, but if you put it in your pocket, like a mouse or something like that, it would not be seen.
Or a tiny shrunken down person.
Yeah,
I mean,
a minimized person or something.
I wouldn't call Ichabod a table. I might rest my feet on his back sometimes, but
Wow.
Ew. Okay. So, with Blaznir in Lapis's pocket, and then Lapis with a hand on Tommas's shoulder, Tommas leads the group out to the door and opens it. Just a crack to take a look out to search for the guard. So I'm going to have him roll his perception. Lapis, you can as well if you want to, since you're so freaking tall.
You said perception?
Perception check, yes.
That should not have been an advantage, but a 20.
Okay, so a 20. Tommas is looking over towards the chapel, doesn't really see anything. He fails to spot, but you grab him on the shoulder and pull him back as he was about to walk out of the door, just in time to see one of the nuns walking down the stairs with her lantern in her hand, kind of looking about. You both pause. Give me stealth checks with advantage.
Should have cast Pass Without Trace anyway.
wouldn't that break your polymorph?
Cast it first, and then... Oh, they're both concentration, aren't they?
Yeah. You would not be able to do
Right,
that.
it's wild-shaped I do that with. Never mind.
I got 20 for my stealth.
Yeah, Tommas got a 26, so you both pause while the door is just barely cracked, and you wait and watch as this nun starts making her way down along the side of the building, underneath the balcony, kind of walks around. You see her walk over to the door like she's checking each door. As she checks the door to the bathroom, Tommas takes that opportunity to close yours, and then the two of you kind of get against the wall and wait. You see her open the door to your room, kind of that outer common room that you're both standing in right now, you both freeze and just hold your breath, invisible, as she opens the door, kind of looks around, sees all the other doors close it as well. You both listen as she starts making her way down very quietly. Tommas attempts to open the door again. Well, that's a 19, which does beat her passive. So he opens the door and kind of watches as she goes, checks the doors to the next room, checks the door to the chapel, looks through there, steps in for a few minutes, and as she's stepping through and walking around, that's when he says to Lapis, "Come on, real quick." So give me another stealth check. Still at advantage. Oh, wow.
Wow, triple crit!
Yes, that's
what's going on.
Yeah.
The elusive triple crit.
As fast as Tommas and Lapis is, they both hurry towards that door to the chapel as it's slowly swinging closed. She's walking past. He catches the door just as it's about to shut all the way to stop it. She goes walking around the chapel, and he very carefully opens it. The two of you step through and close it behind you. Just as the nun gets to the other side of the chamber, opens the door, and passes through it.
Hell yeah.
You all crouch there for a moment, watching, as through the windows, the nun makes her way back through the courtyard, checks in through the bathroom down here, checks in through the library, and you're waiting about 15 or so minutes before she is making her way back to the staircase. Now, during that time, we're going to switch over to Ichabod and Corrin, because it's about the same time that the two of you would be planning on making your way out. Now,
Sure.
The Temple of Jorun, not nearly as what's the word I'm looking for?
Security conscious?
Yeah, security conscious as the convent is, but there are still some priests moving about. Now, were you planning on being invisible from the moment you left?
Yes, and also before I turn us invisible, I'm going to make bed piles.
I was gonna say that.
You know
Definitely.
that the thing that kids do where they like put stuff underneath some blankets and stuff and arrange it in a way to make it look like there's a person sleeping there.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Good call. Lapis and Blaznir and Tommas had did not think about that at all.
It's okay.
No, I leave my old buckle hat on where like the head would be. Like I'm sleeping with my hat over my face.
Absolutely. And then you turn yourselves invisible and start making your way out. Go ahead, both of you. Give me your stealth checks with advantage. Ichabod, since you're wearing heavy armor, you just make a straight roll.
Okay. Well, I think if I roll stealth, it'll automatically give it disadvantage. So I'm going to put on the advantage and see what happens.
I got an 18.
It's still rolled with disadvantage, but we're just going to take that 8.
Jeez.
Okay. So, the two of you together start making your way out of the room, towards the stairs, and down. Ichabod, no matter what, his chain, the plate armor still rattles, still creaks. He still wore his goddamn spurs, which are just clinking a little bit with every single
But I put a little bit of a rag in there and it's not working.
Yeah, exactly. And so, as you're walking down the stairs and heading towards the chapel, you see one of the monks opening the door, coming from the chapel itself, and seems like heading to bed. But as you both just pause, those spurs hit the stone, and you see the priest kind of look up and like, "Hello? Who's there?"
I say
So,
nothing. I do not move.
So they said Cayenne was still with them, right?
Oh yeah, Cayenne.
Cayenne's gonna just dart down the stairs.
There's a rodent in here.
Wasn't he a raven at that point?
No, I said he was in his familiar form. He's just a red panda.
Okay, so suddenly Cayenne just starts running down the stairs, and this monk looks at him and is like, "What the heck? What does Cayenne do? Just run past?"
Runs away.
He's giving a cause for the noise.
Yeah, he's gonna act like a rabid animal.
No, Cayenne.
He's gonna act like a rabid animal.
Nobody can see, but Ichabod is shedding a tear for Cayenne sacrificing himself for me.
They're gonna have to put him down.
Okay,
but I'm trying not to move.
So you're Ichabod's trying not to move. Corin's behind Ichabod. The red panda comes running down the stairs, starts growling ferociously in that cute little red panda way, pretending to be rabid.
He's gonna do that red panda thing where it stands on his hind legs and tries to act
It looks big.
Okay,
it's just the cutest thing anybody's ever seen.
Give me a distraction or a deception check with advantage for Cayenne.
Oh yeah.
What is this?
They're not gonna believe that he's rabid. He's obviously faking it.
Well, there's no distraction skill, so this is the next best thing.
Yeah, deception's fine.
Just performance, but it's the same thing. So.
Yeah, exactly.
10.
So he stands up on his hind legs, trying to make himself as big as possible, and the monk looks at this and is like, "What the heck? Where did this thing come from?" He starts walking towards it, trying to look at it, trying to make some sense of it, because this doesn't make any sense to him. This odd-looking red creature that just came downstairs. What the heck? He just seems standing there. So he starts walking up towards it.
Can we use this opportunity to be moving to the door?
You can certainly try. Make me another stealth check.
Yes, please.
Here it goes.
16.
That was
oh no.
It's not even like I just have a +2. It's not like I have a minus already. But
yeah,
I guess this would technically be a 7 because I don't have disadvantage.
It would be a 7. Unfortunately, this monk has higher perception than that. He's looking at this red panda, and then you both start moving, trying to sneak past. And once again, those spurs hit rock. And he's like, "Wait a minute! What the heck was that? That was not that can't be this creature. Hey, who's out there? Somebody out here?" And he seems to be calling.
Cayenne's gonna nip at his ankles.
Just wait until he leaves.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, Cayenne's attacking.
So, okay, Cayenne.
He's rabid.
He's just nipping at the ankles.
Okay. Yeah, you have first initiative on this because it's a sneak attack. Go ahead and roll for a bite from Cayenne. That's just going to be a strength check.
A strength? All right. Yeah. 13. Oh, not with advantage, but first one's 13.
Yeah, 13. Oddly enough, is enough. So he comes running up. You see the foot of the monk, and underneath his robes, he's just wearing sandals. So Cayenne comes running up and just bites him. Roll for damage.
How much damage would that be?
It would be a 1 plus strength modifier.
Oh, 1. So that's 1 damage.
Okay.
But it hurts.
Yeah, Cayenne runs up and just bites, and this monk just yells out, "Ah, what the!" and starts kicking at him, crying out in pain. He's gonna pull out his mace and try to hit Cayenne.
No.
He pulls out a mace and just takes a swing at him.
What?
If I have to keep Ichabod from crying out, I will put a hand over his mouth.
Yeah. What do I use for? Oh, 5.
Well, it doesn't matter. He misses.
Yeah.
You would use his a base 10 plus his dexterity as AC.
Okay, because I don't have an actual familiar character sheet for him. I just have his elemental form. I don't have one.
Oh,
I
yeah,
have his
you're right.
elemental, but he's different as a familiar.
Yep, you're right. You're right.
Because he has 40 HP as a elemental, and I don't think he would have that right now.
Definitely not. Let me see here real quick.
5 does not hit.
No, it wouldn't anyway, but probably he'd have the same stats as like a cat or something. So he's only going to have a couple hit points. But anyway, he swings at the mace. Kyan jumps back and is able to dodge this.
He's going to run off and just try to cause mass chaos.
Okay, he turns and
stuff
runs.
over, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, knocks some vases over. You know, if he can get into kitchen, cause a ruckus. Into the refrigerator. I don't know.
Yeah, you see this limping monk. He's yelling, "Hey, everyone! There's a wild animal in here! What the hell? I need some help!" And this is chasing after Kyan towards the kitchen as Kyan just like jumps on a table, knocks off a vase, goes running along the side, starts bunching up the rug underneath his feet, and just starts running into the kitchen. You hear a bunch of clangs and clatters and some plates being broken, and you're like, okay, I should probably get going now. So Corin, Ichabod, give me another stealth check.
I bend over and with my knife cut the spurs off my boots and put them in my satchel.
I got a 21.
So you're performing an action? Because I'm pretty sure that that removes.
Oh, come on!
No, it's only if you attack or cast a spell.
Yeah, this is just...
Okay, fine, I'll allow it.
How I'm attacking the leather of my...
Damn it, yeah, you are. No, that's fine.
And it's just flavor anyway, it's not giving me any benefit.
I know. That's why I don't care.
I just can't. But he got a 21. At what point is this a group stealth check?
It's not, because you're not a group. But fortunately, with all the noise that's going on, like, you start making your way towards the chapel. The priest is over there chasing after Kyan. By the time you get to the end of the corridor and to the door, you can see that several more monks have gone running down the stairs and are making their way towards the giant clamor that's going on. Fortunately, that's enough noise and like the yelling is going on that you don't need to have a high number for this at this point.
Thank God.
You're able to get through and into the chapel without being seen.
Corin just hears a sniffle.
Well, what's really good is as you're opening the door, you see another priest that's just starting to run from the chapel into that area because he heard the clamor too. And he's like, what the fuck? And you kind of have to then stand back and suck in. But he's not looking for anything. He's just trying to get past to see what all the commotion is about. And so he runs past you both into there just as you're making your way into the chapel itself. The chapel is quite a bit quieter than what's going on over in the rectory. Nobody's in there. It's a big, large room. There's a big old pool towards the back and the statue of Jorun there. You know that you have to make your way across the chapel and to that back door and make your way past there. So feel free to go ahead and move there.
And this isn't the statue that we had magic coming off of. It was the one that's in the...
The one that's in the convent.
I just want to make sure. Yeah. Alright. Corin, let's fucking get out of here.
Yes.
I don't know if Blaznir's ever gonna forgive me.
I mean, Kyan's not dead.
I just feel awful. But we'll worry about it later.
Does Kyan survive?
Kai.
To get out.
We gotta roll a luck check for Kyan.
I feel like we do. Let's go ahead and roll a D100.
I don't want to know. I can't lose.
Yeah, just roll a D100.
Uh-oh, 54.
That's half and half.
That's in the middle. That's not good.
Roll a D10.
D10.
Need a 6 or higher.
7.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah. Through all the chaos, all these monks coming running down the stair into the kitchen as Kyan is just like, he's jumping on tables and knocking things over. He knocks over a candelabra at one point, and a small fire starts, and more of the monks are just yelling and screaming. Butters drunkenly comes running out like the chef from The Little Mermaid, and is chasing him with a cleaver, trying to get him. But fortunately, someone left a window open, and Kyan's able to jump on it, jump out the window, and get outside.
He scrambles out.
Yeah.
But we're walking down the hallway with no knowledge of this, and Ichabod is very glum, like thinking Kyan's dead.
Blaznir is looking through Kyan's eye with the biggest smile on his face. Blaznir finally gets to have some fun.
And you're in your cockroach form at the time too.
Yeah,
that's smiling.
How is the cockroach smiling?
He just is. Damn it.
He just is.
It's
too cute.
Smiling is a soul action, not a physical action.
You're right. You're so right. I take it back.
But you're able to make it out. Now in the confessionals, as you're passing, but Ichabod and Corrin, what are your passive perceptions?
Pretty good. It is a 16.
Mine is a 13.
Okay. Ichabod, as you're making your way past the confessionals, you're hearing a little bit of whispering, but you're still focused more on Kyan and Kyan's sacrifice, so you don't really catch all of this. But Corrin, with your much higher passive perception, you can hear a conversation being had in one of the confessional booths. Mm-hmm. It sounds like a male voice is speaking very low to a female voice in one of the rooms.
Do I recognize either of the voices?
That would have to be a active passive or perception check, so go ahead and roll that.
Sure. Let me turn off advantage. No, I don't.
No, you don't recognize it. You just hear that it's a male voice speaking, and then you can hear what sounds possibly female, but it could also just be a high-voiced male. It's hard to tell. But two voices speaking back and forth to one another. The doors are closed. You can't see inside. They're confessionals. So, it's just a closed door. And then on the other side, there's another small room. And there's like a little gap between them that you can speak through. You know that's what they are.
Mm-hmm.
But
what are they saying?
It's hard to really make out. It sounds like the male voice is saying something along the lines of forgiveness. Mm-hmm. But it's really tough to make out with that 9.
Damn.
If you want to pause and try to listen more, you're absolutely welcome to.
Yeah, I was going to ask if Corrin could bring my attention to this, but I don't want to
I'll
saying something.
Touch Ichabod and just point over to the confessional and try and listen in again.
Can't see you, you're invisible.
You're both invisible for an hour.
I just touch his ear.
Okay.
Maybe he'll get the idea.
I listen. I bend down like he's about to whisper something to me. But I will listen. Ooh, that's a 21.
And also give me stealth checks.
Sure.
Okie dokie. Sure, why not? Of course. 4.
Stealth, I got a 16. Perception, I got a 19.
So you both walk over to these doors. You're definitely hearing that creaking from Ichabod's armor, and it's kind of loud. And then when you place your ear to the door, you hear a voice that definitely sounds more feminine. Did you hear that? Somebody listening in? And then you hear the priest say, "Don't worry, my child. Why would anyone listen in on your confession? You're just being paranoid. Now, tell me more." And he goes on. He's actually he's starting to talk more about that you need to admit what you've done to the people you've harmed. You need to you need to make good on restitution for those you've hurt, and he starts giving out like actual penance responsibilities to this woman.
Ooh, like what kinds?
Mostly
like charity and stuff.
Yeah, acts of contrition. She needs to pay back a certain amount of money to those she's hurt, and you kind of get the sense that this is a thief who's doing confessionals right now.
Aw, I think of my son. All right, let's get out of here.
And as you're making your way out, she's, are you sure there's nobody else in the temple? I swear I heard something. Sounds of creaking, maybe armor moving as it walks by. And he's like, no, you're the last one here. The only other people here would be monks, and none of them wear armor. Trust me, it's fine.
Getting gaslighted by a priest.
I mean, apparently she's got like a huge perception and intimate knowledge of what armor sounds like. So you know,
well, she is a thief, so maybe she's been in a few scraps.
Or maybe I'm just making shit up for the fun of it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But you're also welcome to open the door and check.
No, we're gonna
that's okay.
get the hell out of here.
I think of how I wish my son would do that, seek penance for his thieving.
Maybe, yeah. Probably won't. But anyway,
Probably never will.
You make your way to the first door. This door is very large and ornate, but it's not locked. It's just a boundary. So you open it, and you can see the pathway leading beyond, which is just like a long stone tunnel that they constructed that goes from the temple to the convent, with windows and things like that, so it's decorative. But it's just a direct route to the open area platform that leads to the convent itself. Now, about that time, we have Tommas and Lapis, with Blaznir in Lapis's pocket, crouched down at the door themselves, and you can hear Tommas saying to Lapis, "Now we just gotta wait. Once we hear the hooting of the owl, we'll try to open this door up for him." We got Anesthetic in chat right now, hanging out. She made us a new emote that she's testing out today. It's pretty cool. It's a rainbow dice with a heart in honor of me joining the Transverse. So we have a new emote that she's using, and she also sent us some bits. So thank you, Anesthetic. We love you. Love to see you in chat.
Big love.
Mm-hmm. Now, the two of you, as you're making your way to the convent door, give me perception checks as well.
Sure enough.
It's a 14.
That's a 10.
Yeah, nothing really interesting that you spot. You're more focused on the tunnel ahead, watching to see if anybody's there. There are no guards outside this door. Maybe surprising, maybe not. It is a convent, so who's going to go up to it? But after a few moments of walking, you make your way to the door. The door itself is large and thick and wooden. There's a window to either side, but glancing through it, everybody's invisible, so you don't really see a whole hell of a lot. But you see the door there, so what do you do?
I'm gonna poke Ichabod.
I say, whoo. Was that good?
Let's see here.
Don't hear a caw sound.
You pause. You're waiting for a moment. Then you hear, "Caw, caw."
Oh, that was terrible. Alright.
Raven?
Okay.
You also hear You also hear a whisper. Now, Corin, your passive perception is 16, so you would be able to hear this, and you hear Tommas's voice very quietly whispering, "Next round should be in about 10 minutes. We've got about 30 left on our spell, so let's wait until they get by before we open the door."
Okay, can I guesstimate how long we've got on our spell? Is it about the same?
About the same, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'll just whisper
Actually,
back.
you probably started yours after them, so you probably have a good 45 minutes left of your spell.
Cool.
I'll just whisper back, understood, 45 minutes left on our spell.
Okay. And then you all pause and just kind of wait quietly.
Do the Macarena.
Mm-hmm. Lapis, Tommas will reach out and kind of feel for you. Once he finds you, he'll grab you by the arm and kind of pull you down towards like the back corner over here. That way you're just out of the way.
Okay.
While we're waiting, I'd like to cast Aid on myself, Corin. Oh, is this going to drop our spell?
Uh-huh.
That's true. Okay, I'll wait.
Okay. You wait for about 10 minutes, and both of you are kind of looking through that window on the other side, watching to see for anything.
Yeah, but I'm standing in the corner.
Mm-hmm. And you're also invisible, but you're just kind of there waiting, watching. Now, you would spot, after a few minutes, a light comes on as the door opens. Lapis, Blaznir, Tommas see that as well. The door opens, and another nun steps through and kind of begins looking about. I want stealth checks from Tommas and Lapis. Both of you get advantage because you're invisible. Yada, yada, yada.
That's a nat 20 for a 27.
Jeez.
Yeah, and Tommas got one for a 28. I actually
Go
clicked
off.
the advantage toggle, but for some reason it's not rolling with advantage for him. I don't know why. Anyway, yeah, as you just freeze, quiet, watching. The nun walks over to the door, checks it for a moment, kind of looks at it, sees that it's locked, walks over to the altar in the center, kind of walks around it for a moment, and like you see her kind of look out each of the windows, which the other nun didn't do. But then she walks over to the door, opens it, goes out, closes it again, and you can see after about 3 or 4 minutes that she's making her way across the courtyard. So Tommas will make his way back over to the door. On this side, there's a lock, so we don't have to pick it. He turns the latch, and you hear a click, Corin.
Okay.
And then that door opens, and you hear Tommas's voice quietly saying, "Come on, quick!"
Yep. I'm gonna make sure the door is open just enough that Ichabod can get through without the armor catching on the door.
So fully opened.
Yeah, so all the way.
Oh, okay. Yes, fully opened.
I'm a big guy. What can I say?
Yeah, pretty much.
Then yes, fully opened, and we'll walk through, and we'll close and lock it behind us.
Okay. While you're doing that, I do want stealth checks from you both. Just don't roll a 1.
Now that you said that, I'm definitely gonna roll. No, I can't. It's a 9. Okay. Well, no, it's 17. It's a 17.
17, yes. It's
Yes.
17.
I got above 10.
Finally.
Yeah, you see, I tucked my. Well, nobody sees, but I did tuck my cape into all the crevices of my armor.
Okay, you both make it through. The door is closed once again. And now you're all standing there together, albeit invisible, and kind of reaching out to feel for one another for a moment.
Yeah, we're all like grabbing each other's shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is quite unsettling. Blaznir, I'm so sorry.
You feel a cockroach climb onto your hand.
Oh my god, smack it.
You smack it. Roll for damage.
How much
Or
damage?
roll to attack first.
Okay, is that just a strength, I guess?
Yeah,
Probably.
strength, probably.
It's an 8. Okay, I miss.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you missed because it is tiny. It does have some agility, so an 8 is
thank
not
God.
going to be enough. Fortunately, you did not bring Blaznir back to existence.
What the fuck? I got bugs in here.
And Tommas is like,
Yeah, I think it's inside my cape.
Shh, it's just Blaznir. Be quiet.
Oh, okay. Alright.
You feel a
You
little
could've
tickle on
warned
your
me.
beard.
Hi, Blazer. Don't go in my mouth or my nose, because then I will bite you.
Alright, let's
Invisible Tommas is just shaking his head.
make our way over to the statue.
Now, making your way over to the statue, what it is there's a big altar, just a big marble, or not marble, but stone pillar, about 3 feet tall. There's 2 candelabras on either side that currently do not have flames on them. They're just there, but between them is a tall, about 3 foot tall statue of Joru. Basically, just a hooded figure in a cloak. Doesn't have a whole lot of form to its body other than the fact that it's there. But that's Joru, standing on top of this altar. Other than that, you got the windows and all that stuff. So, what are you wanting to do?
An investigatato on the statue.
Yeah, look for levers, buttons,
Keyholes, maybe.
Absolutely.
holes.
Go ahead and make an investigation check. If you're all working together at this, it will be an advantage.
Alright, I'm
Sure.
giving advantage to Corin for sure.
Ooh.
I rolled a natural 1 twice.
Corin, are you okay?
With advantage? What
Yeah. You walk over and you're looking at it, and it's perplexing you, Corin. It's a statue on an altar. What have they been talking about this whole time? There's nothing else there.
It's okay. Just take a seat. You just gotta clear your head. Tackle it from another angle. Blaznir, what you say about these candelabras? Maybe we light them and it opens.
Blaznir can't say shit. He's a cockroach.
Yeah.
Blaznir's the only one who saw somebody enter it.
Well,
What?
Yeah, he did tell us that. What you're going to hear from Tommas is that Tommas, we know that someone went down in there. Blaznir saw him. He told us this today.
Did he happen to mention if the candelabras were lit?
He didn't actually. I'm not sure if they were lit or not. I don't think they were. And no, they weren't actually. But he said.
All right.
What Blaznir said is she bent down behind it, and then got up and walked down, and then it closed again. Now we also cast detect magic the first night we were here, and we saw that the statue itself is enchanted, and the candelabras are enchanted as well.
Yeah. So, since you said Ichabod said look at it from another angle, I'm actually going to get down to the floor and get eye to eye with the base of the statue.
Sure.
And just kind of feel around on it, look at it.
Okay, you're going to be spending a good deal more time investigating the statue.
Sure.
Go ahead and make another investigation check with advantage, but as you're doing that, well, actually, no, Tommas will not be able to do that because that would ruin his invisibility.
26. Thank you.
Okay.
Actual good roll.
Eureka.
You're looking over this statue, and it's a good thing you got down to the ground, because inset into the floor, behind the base of the altar itself, you see a small indentation. It appears to be a circle, just a small disc that's inset down into the ground just behind the altar, kind of where actually where your token is right now. It's just a small little indent disc space right there on the floor.
Yeah.
Tommas, how long you reckon before we have another patrol?
Got about maybe 15 minutes left, not too much longer.
All right, well, let's
I
just get in
found
there.
some kind of small disc indentation.
Sounds promising. Give that baby a push.
I'll try and push it, even though I think it's more likely that something needs to go in there. But
Oh, really?
Yeah, push your fingers into the indentation. And you can feel there's the floor itself. Like you push on it, and it kind of goes down a little bit farther. But and as it does, you can see there's slight grooves on the side that kind of come out that are inset into it as you're pushing it down. Definitely something has to go in this.
Yeah,
I
more
would like
a
to.
specialized lock.
But you said it's like a round indentation?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to remove my glove from my left hand and put the dream seed in there.
Okay, you remove your glove from your hand and you put it in there. The seed itself is not very big. It's only about like maybe a little bit more than a quarter sized, and it's ovular and it's like kind of jagged at certain points. It's not like a perfect sphere.
Okay. I always imagined it as rounded, like a circle.
I mean, however you envision it is fine, but it's also smaller than the disc portion itself. So like it goes in there and you can move it side to side and touch the edges, but it's not the same shape.
Okay. What about thieves' tools say that they've got a small mirror? Would that be round, square?
It could be either. It's kind of up to you. I imagine that was always like a little square thing. That way you can like put it to the side.
Sure. I guess that won't help them.
Are the base of the candelabras round?
Yeah, I would say the candelabras are probably round. I've seen a lot of them like that, but they're not
probably
the same
doesn't
shape.
sound very.
Yeah, and you set it down like you pick it up and kind of look at it and compare them, and they're also two different shapes.
Have I ever seen any of when we were walking around, did I see any of the nuns wearing any sort of like discs on their neck or anything?
Well, that's an excellent question, and I'm going to answer that in about 15 minutes because I just saw what time it is, and we are going to go on break.
Take our break.
Yes.
Cool.
So I will answer that question when we get back. So stay tuned, everybody. We will be back in about 15 minutes, and we'll find out whether or not nuns carry medallions or anything like that. So stay tuned. Howdy, everybody. We are back. And we were getting into trying to figure out how to get a indentation in the ground to open up an altar that supposedly has stairs underneath or something. So that's what they're trying to figure out right now. Now, Corin, before we went on break, you said that you had an idea. What are you wanting to do?
Yeah, so I have the prestidigitation cantrip, which one of the things that allows me to do is create a non-magical trinket or an illusionary image that can fit in my hand and lasts until the end of my next turn. And so I figured that either by attempting to make something similar to something that I've seen on one of the nuns, or since we've pressed down on the floor slightly and seen like the teeth and grooves that come out from the actual thing, I could try and make something to fit.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I will say you have not spent a whole lot of time with the nuns.
That's fine.
Like you saw Mother Superior, who did not have who did not have an amulet or of any type on her. You saw a couple of the nuns, but again, they're nuns. They walk around in their habits and their robes and that sort of thing. Now, if you have something specific you're wanting to describe to put into there, we can go with that. Or if you want to say that, like, you're just putting a blank disc about that size into it and seeing what happens, you could probably do something like that.
Also, we have people around us who have spent a lot of time with the nuns, so they could get in on this.
Blaznir, Lapis, have either of you seen any nuns wearing any amulets or things like that, or have you seen an amulet or something of that size while you've been here?
I don't know. Have we?
Have we?
Would that be investigation or not investigation? That'd more be perception, wouldn't it? To see if we've noticed that.
Yeah.
Well, the best way to do it is if I say to you, "Hey, this particular person has this," you might want to write that down. But sure, go ahead and make a history check to see whether or not you can remember anybody having anything on them like that.
What's the cockroach's intelligence?
I thought you
Pretty
used
sure
your
you
own.
keep your mental
No,
stats.
he's not wild shaped. He's polymorph.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is it -5?
Probably. Let me see here.
Make Tommas do it too.
With an 11, do I remember?
No, with an 11 you do not.
I
yeah.
vaguely think I remember you saying something, but I couldn't remember. I couldn't tell you who.
I did definitely say something. Whether or not you can remember is another thing. With the history, no, you honestly can't. And yes, for a roach, it would be a -5 to intelligence.
-5.
Their intelligence is a 1.
Jeez.
6.
Yeah. So you're in Lapis's pocket. Lapis is trying to sit there and think to herself. I just want to see if anybody ever bothers to actually, write things down when I mention them.
Pretty
I
detailed
wasn't
notes, but I
there,
was not
so-
there.
Yeah.
If I write things down, it's going to be all or nothing, and that scares me.
Well, so Tommas, as you're all sitting there and kind of examining this and looking around, he says, now that I'm thinking about it, I do remember seeing something up there in Mother Dominica's office. She had one of those cult books. One of the Cult of the Dreamer books. And there's a medallion, a round medallion on top of that.
We have one of the Cult of the Dreamer books.
Do you?
Yeah, remember we found that first one?
I thought
believe
Fontaine
Fontaine
had that.
took it with her, didn't she?
Keep it.
There
I
was
don't know.
a second one though. I remember hearing about a second one.
This might be the second one that you're thinking of.
Yeah, because we were talking about that. About remembering.
Are you talking about the brain hurty one?
Yeah, Brain
Or-
Hurdy book.
I would have thought Fontaine took that, but I don't.
No,
I think
Fontaine
I might have
definitely
found-
took one.
Yeah,
But you did find another one. You found it in the house that you currently occupy. The former owner's whatchamacallit, the former occupant's personal possessions.
Oh yeah.
And
So,
one
yeah,
of them was
then I'll
the
just-
book.
Try and make a disc that simulates that sort of look.
Okay, make me an Arcana check.
Sure.
Or use the book.
can we give help?
Oops. That's 22.
Do you have the book? Like, who has the book?
It'd probably be in the bag of holding, right?
Okay. Well, with your 22, you prestidigitate an object that, based on what you can remember of that medallion, and it appears in your hand.
Put it into the thingy.
You
Push
put it
down.
in face up or face down?
Face down.
That's how it would have to be on the book.
Yeah.
Okay. You place it face down into that little slot, and you press, and you feel it going down, and you hear a click. And in that moment, after that click, you hear a rumble, 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 as the altar in front of you slowly begins to move forward.
I really thought we were about to explode.
I was hoping.
Good work, Corin. Let's get out of here.
It's an interesting use of the cantrip. I like it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's good.
Yeah, it does make a trinket, and this was purely mechanical to move it.
Yep.
Okay, no magic.
So I'm gonna start leading everybody down, I guess.
Okay. The stairs that appear before you, it's not very big. It's like a 5x5 set of stairs leading downward. And you all have to hurry. Go one at a time. Run, 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 run. As you're doing that, Corin, you also notice that there is a light in the courtyard behind you. Another one of those nuns are beginning to make their rounds. So you hurry as well, running down. And as you start making your way down, you would notice that there's a small little alcove, just about like a 1x2 alcove inset into the wall. And you would see that there is a small chain coming out of it with just a larger loop at the bottom of the chain.
So basically, I'm just going to try and pull the chain to make the statue go back.
Okay. You yank on the pull chain. You feel it begin to pull downward as you're pulling on it. And
I'll also yank on it, because he's not very strong.
So with Ichabod placing his hand over Corin's in that loving sort of way, the two of them push down as the altar begins to move back again.
Good.
You see below you stairs that open up a little bit. You've got not quite 10 feet wide. It's a little more that say like Corin and Tommas could walk side by side, but like Lapis and Ichabod definitely could not. But there's stairs leading downward and going at a fairly steady pace.
Well, I would like to be. I would like to be in the front.
Sure.
Corin, stay behind me. Blaznir, stay in my beard, I guess. But be careful.
Okay. Well,
and you said Lapis couldn't walk next to me, so I guess Tommas got to be up there.
Yeah, Tommas and Lapis can kind of, or actually,
just behind me.
He can be just behind you, and Blaznir can be in your beard, so we'll move him up front.
So weird. Please don't, like, turn back into a human and, like, hit me in the face or something.
I really want that to happen.
Or really ruin my beard.
Yeah, he accidentally changes back and rips the whole thing off.
But no, you don't want to see the kind of damage that's under there.
I was actually going to get off and turn back into myself, because I feel like Blaznir's better than a cockroach at this point.
Yeah, maybe while we're on the stairs, turn back into yourself, and then perhaps pass without trace.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just because I feel better without, with my spells. So
I like the way this cockroach thinks.
Okay. So he flies off of Ichabod, lands on the ground, and poofs back into existence. As Blaznir once again. It's a narrow corridor. You kind of have to hunch yourself down a little bit, Blaznir, because you're pretty freaking tall.
And I'm also going to snap my fingers, and familiar Cayenne is going to appear in front of us.
You're okay. He can't see me, but I give him invisible scritches.
Okay. Well, before you is a stairwell going down, and it trails well past all of your dark visions. that you have.
I'm also casting Pass Without Trace, by the way. Just so you know.
Don't know where I'd be without you.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna begin to descend. I'm gonna take the lead.
Since you're all, sounds like being stealthily, go ahead and give me stealth checks. You don't get advantage anymore at this point because after 5 minutes of walking down those stairs, those invisibility spells are going to be gone.
That's fine.
Back to regular old disadvantage.
Yikes. 11.
Well, 21 plus with Pass Without Trace.
Plus 10 to everyone.
Yo, Blaznir, why didn't you join the 11 crew? Everybody else rolled an 11.
Yeah, come on. He got the 11.
31.
He had to show off.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Kyan got 28.
Yeah, Tommas got a 24 with that Pass Without a Trace. So you're all moving very quiet, much quieter now since the Pass Without a Trace spell is in effect. It's muffling those heavy footsteps from Ichabod.
Also,
I won't be ashamed of myself. This is who I am.
You said that the corridor goes past my dark vision.
Yes.
Is it past 120 feet or past 60? Because I have 120 feet of dark vision. I'm just curious.
Let me measure.
As for heavy, I believe the word you were looking for is thick.
My thick footsteps. That does not make any sense.
Now you just hear his cheeks clapping all the way down.
Colonel, I'm trying to sneak around.
Yeah. Snake.
The clap on my ass keeps alerting the nuns.
Yep, definitely does. Okay, you do have a bit more vision, because you got the 120 feet, but it's fairly far down. But you continue to walk slowly until you come to the bottom of the stairs. At the bottom of the stairs, you find a longer tunnel, a corridor made of very finely wrought stone. It's very clear that this chamber that you're walking through has been built probably within the last handful of years. All the stone looks like it's finished product, like it's just been placed very recently. All the seams there's no gap in between it. It's extremely well crafted. The tunnel continues on for quite a ways. For Blaznir, it goes on a good 95 feet or more, but you would be able to see in the distance that farther down, it does turn off towards the east.
I want to look at Blaznir and be like, I'm not too good at perceiving, dangers and the like, but newly built tunnel in a secret place, kind of giving trap vibes to me. So if you have the means to take a gander.
Yeah, I can roll perception. I didn't actually prepare find traps because I forgot I said that.
You did say that.
I said I was like, ooh, I could prepare this, and then
Fuck me for
forgot.
paying attention, I guess.
That's okay. If you can spot the traps, I can get them with my thieves' tools.
Yeah, I'll just I'll try to perceive any traps, see if there are any tripwires or the sort.
Yeah.
Roll perception.
20.
You're really carefully looking down this corridor, looking at the floors, the ceiling, the sides, anything like that. You don't see anything that pops out for you as a trap.
Alrighty.
Well, if I step on a pressure plate, I've only got you to blame, Blaznir. And I start walking.
I think find traps is concentration anyway, so would be good with a Path Without Trace.
Well, we'll keep moving then.
Yeah.
Also, Kyan's going in front of everyone, so he would take any traps.
No, Kyan, you sacrificed yourself enough for one day.
Okay.
On my shoulder.
So you all start making your way down the corridor. pausing every so often so Blaznir can look again. You don't see any traps. It's actually fairly flat and even. The tunnel itself is only about 10 feet tall. So Blaznir, you're able to stand up at this point and like actually stretch, but your head's not too far from the ceiling. But as the corridor continues on, it banks to the right, and you can see now that it opens up into a much larger area with alcoves going to the left and to the right every few feet. Beyond that same corridor goes downward, south, another 40 or so feet to another turn point. As you gaze past it, you're able to see what appears to be it's not sarcophagus, but coffins made of stone, inset into the floor and kind of raised up about 3 or so feet, with a stone slab on the top of it, in the corridors that are closest to you right now, Ichabod.
Fascinating. This is where the nuns are interred.
Sure seems to look like it.
Perception check to listen down this hallway down over here.
A perception check, go for it.
Nope. An 8.
You do not hear anything. It's actually very quiet, other than the, faint ting of Ichabod's armor as he's moving through Paths Without a Trace.
Yep.
I reckon we just continue onwards. Pay our respects to the dead.
Okay. You continue on down the corridor, looking to the left and to the right every so often. Each alcove has 2 larger coffins made of stone rising up from the floor. There's also little alcoves set into the walls at either side where you can see actual mummies, essentially. Wrapped up bodies that's been preserved and placed in the alcoves. Which is kind of interesting because there's also these stone coffins there. So it's hard to tell why some of them would be in alcoves and others would be in coffins.
I can think of a few reasons. I continue. I move a little faster.
Fair enough. You walk your way past each of these stone coffins, just sitting there, ignoring them for the most part.
Yeah.
And you can pass on. Past those alcoves, there's another turn. And you can see that the pathway leads south quite a ways to where it turns towards the west again. But then halfway down, there's another corridor that goes to the east.
Alright, listen down here at the corridor to the east.
Okay, another perception check.
22 this time. Hell yeah.
Yeah, this time you can hear quite a bit. And the first thing that pops to your keen elven ears is the sound of water. Just faintly splashing. Down the corridor itself, you can't hear anything. It doesn't sound like any noise is coming from that. You can hear your companions moving about a little bit. And Ichabod, as you step into that chamber, you can see that there is a large pool that goes along the back half of it in a bit of a U-shape. There's a rise of stone that's only about, about 2.5 feet tall, filled with crystal clear water. A basin almost, or a pool. You can see that in the center of it, right about there is a motif carved into the wall of Jorun, the shadow, in his in his cloak and billowing hood and billowing cloak, holding what appears to be a pot or a vessel that is pointed downward, and from it is flowing that water into the pool. You can see that there are a few candelabras along the walls. I actually forgot to mention that there are candelabras in the crypt areas along each wall, but those are all unlit. They're there, but they're just not lit. These are not lit either.
Okay.
There are two on either side. There's one right there, there's one right there. And then there's two to either side of Jorun. Over here. They are unlit as well.
So, probably more holy water. Can I guess, roll like an investigation, see if there's anything strange or interesting about this?
Well, it's already strange that this place was built only a month or so ago, and
no. It wasn't built a month ago. It was built a few years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Strange that this place is so new, and yet they have a statue of Jorun down here when they are heretical.
Well, maybe Jorun doesn't care too much about worshiping cult gods, and they're working in tandem or something.
I think they're being mind controlled to not worship the god they're supposed to worship, and that's what it seems like anyway. They're not, they're pretending to worship Jorun as a, like, oh no, we're not worshipping this code, we're worshipping Jorun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think it has anything to do with Jorun. I don't know much about religion, but,
Well, me neither, as it turns out. Should I roll a perception or investigation?
What are you trying to ascertain?
I'm trying to ascertain if there's, I don't know, like, something in the water, or, like, any more buttons or levers or doors or anything in this liquidy room.
That would be an investigation check.
I got a 19, flat on the die.
So other than, like, the pool of water is very clear. You can see to the bottom. There is nothing on the bottom whatsoever. This area itself is actually very clean, as though the nuns come down here quite regularly to clean it. Of the candelabras, you can tell that they've probably been lit maybe a few weeks ago. At most, you kind of look in there and you can see that there is some ash and stuff like that, as though they've been used a while ago, but it's old and kind of flaky, like it's been used a while ago and hasn't been used since. Other than that, just kind of look, like, do you actually get into the water and kind of start messing and playing around with things? Do you do anything like that, or are you more just, like, looking and observing?
Mess around.
Alright, I'll hike my pants up, take my leather boots off, and get my legs in the water.
Okay. And you kind of start moving around and examining, like, you look over the walls, you don't see any buttons or anything like that. You look over the mural, the carved statue, and you kind of touch certain areas. You don't really see anything there. But when you come down to the southern part and you start looking at one of those candelabra down there, one of them actually has some freshness to it. You check into the candelabra and you notice that, like, there's some fibrous material in there. Some what I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for.
The wick.
It's not. Yeah, the stuff that you put in there to light it.
Mm-hmm. The wick.
Thank you. It's fresh. It's unlit. It hasn't been used.
Ooh, interesting.
You also notice that it's just kind of slightly not like perfect up and down. It's just slightly askew.
Can I attempt to pull it lightly like a lever?
Like you pull it like a lever. Okay, you grab onto
But not,
it. Kind of,
I'm not ripping it off. I'm pulling lightly to see if it turns like a lever.
so a lever is you pull. Okay. You try pulling on it. It does not pull back or anything
Okay.
like that.
Do
You
I
said it was slightly
turn
out
it?
of place, right? Could she
turn
like,
it upright?
put it into place?
Yeah, it's not far because it's only like a slight motion to get it back to where it was. It was only slightly askew, and you kind of rewrite it, and it stays there.
All right. So I have a lantern of my own as well. I would like to take the wick out of my lantern, and then I want to light the wick that's there. That way I can use my new wick to replace it if anything were to happen or to hide our presence here.
Yeah, you can light it, and it does come to life, relit, and you get a little bit more light in that area right there. I'll go ahead and give you a little.
Oh, don't worry. If nothing happens, I'm going to snuff it.
Yeah, nothing happens when you light it. It just is lit.
Okay. I'll replace the wick with a new one.
Lift it up, see if there's anything underneath it.
Well, it's on the wall, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on the wall.
Oh.
It's connected into the wall. It was slightly askew. You moved it just a little bit to get it flush up and down. So you know it kind of moves a little bit.
I getting frustrated with having to investigate things and using my brain. I say in a very whiny voice, Corin, you want to take a look at this?
I'll walk over and look at it.
Okay, you walk over and you look at it. It's a candelabra, as I described, inset into the wall.
I don't know. There's just something about it. It's a little fresher, a little newer.
Touch
puzzle.
it, move it around.
You start moving it around a little bit. If you start pushing on it just a little bit, it'll start to turn and start to turn to the right just a little bit.
Okay, I'm gonna try and turn it.
You turn it, you grab onto it and turn it, and as you're turning it, you feel a click, 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 click as it
Eureka!
goes into gears. Yeah, you just had to turn it. You didn't have to pull it. You just had to turn it.
I said I was going to turn it.
I asked you that if that's what you're doing. You said, no, I pull it like a lever.
Well, I pulled it, and then I turned it, and then you were like, it's straight now.
That's alright.
Yeah,
I figured it out for you. It's
just you had to turn it.
All right,
you had to turn it all the way around. That's all it was.
I scoop Corin up and spin him around in a big circle, and then drop him in the water.
And then you drop them in the water. Splash! You're all invisible again, by the way. It's been over an hour.
Oh, we're visible again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to remind you.
That's okay.
Anyway, Corin's sitting there in the water, completely soaked. Ichabod's up to his ankles, but as you after turning that candelabra, the wall next to it kind of pushes inward and begins to open, and it reveals a tunnel, a small, very small 5x5 corridor that seems to be going further south.
Alright, I grab my boots, put them in the tunnel, and then I climb in the tunnel, put my boots on, and then start scrunching through it.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
can I use my invisible mage hand to attempt to knock his boots into the water?
No, my boots!
Absolutely.
They're leather! You've just finished shining these.
Yeah.
Make you do it all over again.
You've got the telekinetic mage hand, so it's invisible and you can push. So just
So can I make a strength
Ichabod,
check
you're
to
going to
hold
make a
on to
strength
boots?
check to get to hold on to the boots against his spell DC.
We're about to fight. 11.
So yeah,
Nope, not good enough.
I didn't think it would be. So Corin, as Ichabod is stomping through the water, you just push those leather boots in his hands with your mind. They come flying out of his hand and land in the water. Splash!
I gaze down, like past my nose at him with a very deathly look. But then I grab my boots and keep
Doing my best to look innocent.
Just glare.
When Ichabod picks them up, I'll prestidigitation. him, or the boots.
Thank you,
Being off.
Blaznir. Finally, somebody is being reasonable.
Only an 11 on deception, so not that great.
No.
I know you're guilty. It's bad.
Tommas is just standing behind all of you, like his hands are on his eyes. He's just rubbing
like,
them.
what fresh hell am I in now with this
When-
comedy of errors?
When Ichabod's not looking, I reverse it with prestidigitation.
Everybody trolling Ichabod as his boots just suddenly
My
fill up
socks
with
are
water.
wet now. I put
Hey,
the boots on when they were dry, and then you
I
made
was
them wet
only
again.
I was only trolling him because he pushed me in the water.
No, I dropped you in the water. It was very cute when I did
Close enough.
it. When I did it, it was romantic. All right, I crawl angrily through the tunnel
Yeah,
with
you
my
do.
wet boots on.
You crawl angrily through the
My
tunnel.
spurs.
Tommas is gonna just make a jump to get across without getting wet. But he fails. He gets close to the edge, splashes down. He's like, God.
I know what's happening here. I know what's happening. We saw the pool of water, and we had memories of hot tub back home. Well, once we get this finished, we can all jump in the hot tub. So let's just focus up and get this done.
Tommas now thinks that Corin fucked with him too.
Yeah. So
I
you
was
pushed me,
already
you pushed
I was
me.
already ahead of him. I was
Damn
not
it,
in a
Corin.
position to screw with him.
But the mage hand was.
Mage hand could have been.
I guess it does have a range of 60 feet, but
Exactly.
I would have
Fuck
had no
you,
reason
Corin.
to screw with him.
No, it's
Nonetheless, he believes it.
just, that's what he believes. It's canon now. But anyway, you all make your way into this very small tunnel, which goes down about 40 or so feet before opening up into a much wider corridor. From here, you can see that after a certain point, it stops being actually carved and placed stone and becomes much more rough stone. It appears to be a cave area past about 25 or so feet of actual handwork stone. As you step towards this chamber, you can also see that in the wall there are these large, kind of almost round-looking objects that are placed at regular intervals along the sides of the wall. Then they kind of stand out because it's not natural stone. They almost look like jars that have been placed like the bottom side outward against the wall.
Oh, I see. Is there anything inside of these jars?
Do you go over and inspect one?
I want to go over and not touch it, but I want to get my nose real close and take a big sniff.
Okay. As you're walking towards it, you're the first one to walk past that point. I need you to make
I'm gonna do
a dexterity saving throw, because as you're walking towards it, the outer side of that thing that looks like a jar begins to glow with a bright red light.
Ooh.
So
Uh-oh.
dexterity saving throw, please.
That's a 20.
You know, we
20.
should have expected this from the worshippers of Jarun.
Whoa. Does the
Wow.
jar have a rune on it?
Oh my god, you know what? The jar now has a rune on it, and
No!
that rune just
I
shot
missed
at
the
you
rune.
with a big blast of fiery energy.
Is it-
You do make the save, so instead you're only going to take
Yeah, only.
half a 19, so that's gonna be 9 points of fire damage as this lance of light goes shooting through you. The rest
tell
of
me,
them-
was it just like a fiery, like
Kind of like a fiery
ammunition?
ray. It was like a ray.
Okay,
of
so but it
fiery
wasn't
energy.
like an explosion, like a really loud explosion.
No, it was more like
Okay.
a shot that
Okay.
goes
Cool.
past you. You dodge back out of the way. It barely hits you, and you stumble backward a little bit as you see the rest of those jars begin to glow as well.
Everybody duck right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you all start backing up. Tommas is towards the back. He's like, everyone in here, quick. I'm going to need, let's see, it's only going to take you a little bit of time. So I'm going to say, let's see here. I want everyone to roll for initiative real quick. I just want to say if you're all able to react before these things can.
Oh crap! I forgot to select my token.
Okay, so it looks like the thing is going on initiative 12. So that's going to be Blaznir, Lapis, and Tommas, who's going to have blast come shooting at them. So Ichabod and Ichabod and Corrin.
Can I say I put my shield up, and it kind of protects us?
Yeah, like you're just running. You got hit and you're running. You grab your twink and just keep going.
and hold the shield.
Yeah, the two of with that shield up, and the two of you are able to make it around the corridor. But I need Blaznir, Lapis, and Tommas to make dexterity saving throws.
I'm guessing they would all be within my range, basically, because we're all rushing back here.
Yes.
So they get +4.
They get a +4 to that.
Mm-hmm. So Lapis got a 15. Blaznir got a 20. Tommas got a 30.
Nice.
Moss turning into Neo over here.
Damn.
From the
How much did you say Lapis got?
15, because I give a +4, and she rolled an 11.
15. So you're the only one that failed, Lapis.
No.
Figures.
Okay, so you would take a total of 18 points of fire damage. Everyone else takes 9.
Yeah.
Even us who beat its initiative?
No,
or just everybody who rolled?
Just everybody who
okay.
rolled.
Good.
So you two did not take any damage. You're able to get out of there in time, but everybody else got blasted as you're all running away. You all make it around the edge of the corridor, right there. Oh, I never got one for Kyan. Kyan was in there too.
He's technically on my initiative, so.
Also,
And-
he's made of fire.
Okay, so then
No, not familiar.
Okay.
he's
unless
not.
you want me to roll one, but
Yeah, I do
he's
want-
probably
if-
gone.
If he was in there, he would have.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
dead.
Then he's gone.
Nah.
No. How did this happen?
Poor Kyan's trying to scramble away while everyone else is running, and one of those rays just was able to eat him up, and you see
And it's
nothing
my
but ash.
fault again. All right, I want to peek around the corner and see, did the jars like break? Does it seem like single use, or like they're going to continue to do this?
Make a perception check.
That's only a 5.
Yeah, you can see them. They're there. You don't see any color coming off of them right now, but all of them are still in the wall that you can see.
Blaznir, I know you're grieving, but I need you to take a look at this.
Well, I can just bring him back tomorrow. It's fine.
I know.
31. Oh.
Okay, you go glancing down there as well. Much higher perception as you peek your head around the corner. You can definitely see that those jar-looking things that are in the wall are still sitting there. They're still at the ready. They're not glowing right this second, but you can see the edging of the runes. They're still there.
Sure. Can
The
I
jar
try to?
runes are still there.
Can I try to dispel magic on one?
What kind of range do we have on Dispel Magic?
120 feet.
Then you can always try.
Yeah,
Does it have to be on a specific thing, or can it be like an area?
Well, pop up Dispel Magic. Let's read it.
It's on the object.
One creature, object, or magical effect. Okay.
Yeah.
Any spell of 3rd level or lower on the target ends. For spell of 4th level or higher, make an ability check using your spellcasting ability. So give me an ability check with your spellcasting ability.
Alright. 21.
You focus on one of those first jars that are there, and you cast your spell, and you watch. The spell is cast. It hits. The rune cracks, and the entire edge of the jar cracks, and seems to fall downward.
Just that one, though, yes?
Just that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's not sustainable to do them all.
So if this one here is still active...
I'm going to put an X on it. Just give me a second.
Sure.
I'll just look at Corin and shrug.
I wanna.
Okay. I'm gonna
that one's
try
destroyed one.
crawling on my hands and knees
Oh wait!
on the ground.
No wait! Wait.
Okay.
Just
Oh,
get back
are you
into
grabbing
cover.
him and stopping him?
Yeah, I would like to grab him and stop him, and I want to try to use so I'm a guy who's fought in war and whatnot. So I want to try to assess what I just went through when I gotten close to it and it activated and whatnot, and see if I can tell was it movement activated, was it sound activated, or was it proximity? Can I do an insight on my experience?
I like it. Yeah, why not? Do an insight check.
That's a 15 insight.
It
Can I at least knock one of those off as a possibility?
You got the idea from your interaction that as you started walking up towards it, that's what set it off. Was proximity.
And about how close was I to it? Because I was getting in real close to sniff it.
Yeah, you're getting in real close. You got to about 10 feet away from it when it activated.
Right, 10 feet away. That one's been deactivated. So we could potentially walk along this bottom wall to get around, or along this top wall, to get around this one. I'm not sure what it looks like up ahead.
Walk forward a little bit, see if it does.
Just
Okay.
stay more
You
than
kind
10
of walk
feet.
forward, but you're clinging to that wall a little bit. It does not seem for the moment that it is activating.
Okay. Keep moving.
Corin, get behind me.
As you're walking, you're keeping your eyes along the edge of those walls. Go ahead and give me another perception check.
Sure. I got a 25.
You can see that there's at least 2 more of those up ahead, and they're pretty close together. One's
Okay,
on the top. You can see them on the map. They're these little round things.
How long did it take the blast to come out after it started glowing?
Almost immediately.
Okay, I'm just
Corin,
gonna
God damn it, get behind me.
try and run past them.
Corin, God damn it.
I'm gonna cast a spell magic on
So,
the one.
do me a favor real quick.
Sure.
Let's do some order of operations here.
Okay.
Corin said he's just taking off running.
Yep.
What direction? Show me with your ruler what direction you're trying to run.
Just
Okay.
like that.
Yeah, just like that.
There.
Okay.
Basically.
So you see Corin start taking off in that direction. Now, Blaznir, you said you're going to try to dispel magic.
Yeah, I'm gonna dispel this one. The one on top wall.
You would not have. You do not really have much of a clear line of sight to that one there.
I can see it on the map, but
You could walk
Hold on.
over to around here and still be 10 feet from this one.
I guess I can try to shimmy away, or shimmy out a little bit.
Yeah, if you went right there.
But
Boop, boop.
Why is it weird? Okay. So I want Corin and I want Blaznir to both roll initiative for me.
Sure.
well, he's gonna beat me.
Oh yeah, he absolutely is.
Yeah. Only by one, though.
Barely. I almost got it.
Okay, so
Not to piss me
Because I
off.
rolled a 4.
yeah, so what's what's happening is you're running in between the two of them. The way these things are situated is so that they cover an area. It's basically like an arc. You're running through two of those arcs. So I'm going to need 2 dexterity saving throws for me.
Sure.
Oh,
A 9. And another 9.
Wow.
well, my +4 wouldn't help anyway, but
So 23 and 19 points of fire damage as these 2 basically lasers come shooting out from these things, hitting you at the same time as you run past them. You are able to get past them as you're running and get hit by these things, probably getting to right about there or so. In that moment, then, Blaznir, you said you're going to cast a spell magic on one of them. Go ahead and roll your check for that.
Wisdom check. Come on. Natural 20 for 27.
Yes, you absolutely and destroy the rune that's on that object.
alright. Alright. Ichabod runs up to Corin, and I grab him by the shoulders, and I say, God damn it, what did I tell you?
As soon as you grab him by the shoulders, he goes...
Corin, quit fucking around. You could have died. I thought you made a promise. All right, don't do nothing stupid.
Right.
Yeah, we have the means to solve these problems without you trying to get yourself killed every 2 seconds.
Flipped my mind. Won't happen again.
I drop him.
I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on Corin.
What level are you casting? 2nd level? Okay.
So how much
I'll
do I
also
get?
Only 9, but...
while I'm clutching Corin, I'll give him how much did you lose? I'll give you 15 of my lay on hands.
Ooh, I'm back up to 62.
But I look really angry the whole time while you're getting healed.
Probably. You all hug the wall, keeping away from those other active traps that are there. As you do, you see farther to the south that the chamber opens up, and there appears to be a crane made of wood on one side holding what appears to be a lift or an elevator. Just a wide piece of square wood that has railings and that sort of thing, and then each of the side has a post connected to a rope, and all of those ropes go to the center where the crane is attached to. And then there, underneath that, is a really big fucking hole. Like, really big.
Mm-hmm.
But, as you walk towards it and you look, you can see that at the bottom there is a faint glow of light.
Look like there has to be somebody to work the elevator, or can you stand on the thing and lower yourself down?
Make an intelligence check.
That's what I do best. 12.
Or actually, investigation is intelligence. You could have used investigation as
15
well.
then. Or if you want to take my original roll and just add a +4 because that's the extra, so it'll be 16.
That's what it'd actually be. So 16, which is actually more than enough to kind of figure this out. On the side of the crane, there is a winch, and the winch has a kind of a clockwork mechanism that's attached to it that seems to be timed, and you can see like the gears and the springs that are behind it, and you're kind of doing the math in your head. What it looks like is if you press this button that's on the side of the crane, it begins to lower. Yeah, it gives you a few seconds, and then slowly starts to lower it. And then there's a timer attached to it that would take it. That would begin to bring it back up at a certain point.
Well, then I'm gonna push the button and motion everybody to go stand on the thingy.
Do you think it's wise that we all go at once?
Can I try to peer down the hole, see if I can see anything?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay. 23.
You go over to the edge and kind of kneel down and look. And the glow is very, very faint. You're estimating that this lift probably takes you a good 700 feet down.
Jesus.
It's a long way for them to notice us.
Well, just in case, I'm just gonna tell them that I'm one of the new nuns because they don't know enough about elves to know what female elves look or don't look like.
Well, what about the fact that you're not wearing any nun garments? And that they haven't seen you before. And they all live together in the same convent.
I'm
You're the dumbest smart guy I know.
Transplants.
Yeah,
Sure, that's off the elevator.
Tommas is going to speak up and be like, yeah, there aren't any other elves here.
Yeah.
There just aren't.
Does anybody have anything that could get us down there another way without using the elevator? Just something to look into.
I could summon a bunch of spiders that we could ride.
Okay.
That
Anybody
sounds
else?
absolutely horrific. I just want to say, please.
Yeah, I was imagining like an army of spiders climbing on the ceiling, pouring in. No, anybody else?
we would intimidate anyone down there. I'm just saying.
My thing is that if we're stealthy,
I have fly, but it's only a 60-foot fly speed for 10 minutes, and burning higher level spell slots for each person above the first.
Yeah. What we really need is a feather fall.
Yeah, I could teleport myself a little bit, but definitely not in these terms.
Well, maybe. Well, what were you gonna say, Lapis?
Are the walls pretty like straight up and down? Like, cause I do have unarmored movement. I can run across vertical surfaces.
Pretty sure you have to end on a solid surface, though, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Well, why don't we just lower a rope?
700 feet
You have
rope?
a 700-foot rope?
It's a damn long rope.
That's a pretty damn long rope. Like you're looking at the
damn
spool
long
of this lift, and it's big, and the rope that's used is like that big around. It's pretty freaking heavy duty.
Yeah, I'm
You
just
You know,
gonna
we
look
could
at-
lower the lift and then climb that rope. But
It sounds
Look
smart.
at- Look at everybody else and just go, look, I know you want to be cautious, but now is the time we must move forward.
Well,
No.
that's good enough for me. I get on the lift.
Yeah, I really.
no one wants to ride a giant
Right.
spider?
Push the button.
No, I
Get
think
on the
we're
lift.
Quite alright.
You know, if they notice us all coming down the lift at the same time, then you summon the spiders.
Right. How many spiders can we summon? Wonder.
Well, while you're looking at that, I push the button.
Okay, so you go over, you
Oh,
push the button, everybody
Is this-
climbs on. It's only a it's a
Are
five.
we all going to
it's-
fit in this?
So
Are we
here's the thing
overweight?
about that. Here's the thing about that. It's interesting because when you're looking at it, it's only about a 10-foot by 10-foot lift.
Okay.
However, because Tommas is small, he's a halfling.
Mhm.
He can stand in the same space as somebody else.
Thanks, Tommas.
So Tommas and
No.
so with Tommas and Corin occupying one space and everybody else occupying enough, the next, it's gonna be heavy. And you're like, God, I sincerely hope this holds, but you can technically all five fit on it.
Okay.
You know,
Sounds good.
I mean, I guess if...
Somebody could piggyback on my shell if they needed to.
Yeah, does it look
I
like
don't
this
think it
thing...
knows anything about the weight.
Does it look like this thing has a specific weight limit? I probably wouldn't know,
I
actually.
mean, there is no
It's
sign
not gonna
that says,
say.
yeah.
So we can look at the rope and see if it looks like it's gonna fray
Yeah.
or it's making
Elevator
terrible creaking noises.
Yeah.
By the Otis Company.
I mean, yeah, like I said, I described it. The rope is very, very big. This is like
I think
ship
we'll make
rope.
it. And because they probably brought like materials down using this thing.
Yeah.
I suppose.
If they're building stuff.
I just want to do my army of giant spiders, honestly.
All right, well, when we get down there, and we are undoubtedly noticed because we're traveling very slowly down a 700
this-
foot.
Oh, actually get down there in an hour, probably.
We'll get down there. It'll probably take a couple minutes, but you know.
I shall do as you do and take this on faith.
All right. I hope you'll take my instructions on faith next time before you do something stupid in the battle and stay behind me. Thanks.
Hey, should we all be invisible going down? Because that'd be kind of hilarious. The whole thing goes down and there's nothing there.
I don't think we can all be invisible.
Yeah, I think our days of invisibility are behind us.
But imagine, I could summon 16 giant spiders.
They can't fit on the elevator. Blaznir.
Climb onto walls.
No, wait until we're on the floor. My God.
I'm banning all summon
get into a
spells
fight.
next game.
Can I guess how much time the elevator is going to take us before we get down there?
Probably about a good 30-40 minutes.
40 minutes, I light my pipe.
Fair enough. So y'all climb onto the elevator, push the button. It begins to slowly descend, and as it does, Ichabod just pulls out that pipe.
Everybody's stressing me out really hard. I need some tobacco.
Yeah, I'll pull out my smoke monster's pipe as well, and I'll puff out some giant spiders.
Pull out my bubble pipe. It's colorful and therefore makes me feel better.
I feel like Tommas is just rolling a joint at this point.
I know,
Yeah.
right, Tommas? I'm stressed as fuck here. It's like reining in a couple of toddlers.
It kind of is.
Hey, make an intelligence check for Tommas to see if he knows the etiquette. Puff pass.
Oh yeah, he better.
Let's see here. Intelligence check.
Or maybe
Is that
wisdom,
I think it's
whichever one.
wisdom is street
Wisdom.
smart.
I'd say it's wisdom.
Wisdom. Yep.
It's a 12.
You
Tom-
know that.
Thomas.
with 12.
Yeah,
Party
he's
foul.
gonna be passing it on the left hand side.
Nice.
King.
Okay. Well, I think that's a great place to end things for this evening, with the Debauchery Circus plus Tommas going down this slow elevator, descending downward into depths unknown. But something's
Is there
definitely going
elevator
on.
music?
No elevator music, unfortunately, except for Blaznir.
Blaznir's humming. Hmm.
Humming a song about giant spiders, just wishing.
One day my giant spider army will conquer you.
Yep.
Blaznir's going to be the big bad, and it's just going to be an army of hundreds of giant spiders.
Would you rather be a druidic lich or a were spider?
Oh, I could be both, though.
Yeah, you
Hey,
literally could be both.
maybe.
Were fighter is your
I would-
race, and druidic lich is your class.
I would love to be both. Just the lich and with the castle with giant spiders everywhere that no one goes near. 'Cause
I appreciate that my
terrifying.
players are just giving me NPC bad guys for campaign 2. That's great. I love it.
Hey, Matt, if you're gonna use that, don't forget the gnomish artificer that he needs to make the giant robot spider machine like they had in that crappy Wild Wild West movie.
Oh, well, there's definitely some artificers out there that are crazy enough to do it, so you never know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Tune
Okay.
in next time to find out.
Well, that'd probably be in campaign 2 when we find
Yeah,
out that.
yeah.
Or maybe
That's what I
even
meant by
in-
next time.
Tune into the next campaign.
Yeah, tune in the next campaign to see giant mechanoid spiders and
To see
and,
Blaznir as a lich 200 years in the future with his giant mechanized spider army.
Deep
Uh,
core cuts.
a
from
were
campaign
spider
1.
lich.
Yeah, he's a were
that's
that would make a pretty sick NPC though. Like you
That would
gotta
be a
meet up
very
with him and he
interesting
gives you a
bad guy.
quest. Like hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I like it. It's just writing itself. Okay. Well, thank you to everyone who watched today. We very much appreciate you tuning in. Come hang out with us again next Monday for Kyle's one shot. And then the following week, we'll be back with the Debauchery Circus, finding out what is going on underneath this convent. So once again, on behalf of everyone here in the Random Rhapsody crew, I want to say once again, thank you for watching. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next time. Good night.